Now, this shifts us into chapter 13, where we talk about the lead-in was, I will show unto you a more excellent way. Did you catch that? Well, the more excellent way is chapter 13. And if you go back to John 14:6, in the upper room, Jesus tells his apostles, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. I am the way. So Paul's going to show you a more excellent way. Everything in chapter 13, if you just put on symbolic lenses looking for Jesus Christ, this whole chapter is just a manifestation. Every word in here points you to the Savior. Every single word. In fact, let me just ask it this way. If a member of your bishopric came up and asked you to speak in sacrament meeting next week, and they said, we want you to take 10 minutes and talk about charity. The topic is charity. Many people would get that assignment and say, okay, I'm going to start thinking of all of the ways that we can demonstrate charity. And that would be a fine perspective. We're not knocking this down. I'm just saying there's a problem with this perspective, because the invitation was to talk about charity. And what I've diagrammed on the board here is kind and charitable acts. But this isn't charity. Because if you really want to be technical, charity is something much, much bigger than this. Now,
it would encompass this.
That's part of it.
This is only one part. Back to that large body we saw, this would be saying like, this is the foot. And if all you focus is on the foot, you miss the larger body of what charity is.
So again, this idea of letting the scriptures be one whole orchestra and letting them all contribute beautiful melodies that create then incredible harmonies working together. The Book of Mormon has, in my opinion, one of its finest moments is that talk given by Mormon in the synagogue that Moroni chose to include in his own book right towards the end in Moroni chapter 7. And his father, Mormon, gives this discourse about charity that is just phenomenal. And if you go down to verse 47 in Moroni 7, it says, but charity is, so this is kind of a definitional statement, charity is the pure love of Christ, and it endureth forever. And we know that charity faileth not. That's the theme of the Relief Society, right? So in my mind, the best diagram you could possibly make for what is charity is that. Charity is the pure love of Christ. Now, this is my attempt to reflect the pure love of Christ that has come to my life. But the reality is I don't generate that all by myself, independent, cut off from God's grace and God's power flowing through me. I receive from Him, I process, and I strive to become like Him, which causes me to turn outward. His whole life, from the very beginning, before the creation of the world, is turned outward. And so I'm trying to reflect His goodness. Brothers and sisters, that is charity. So if we can keep that in mind, now we jump into 1 Corinthians 13.